Hi guys! Welcome back to another episode of our Mukbang channel. Okay, so today, as you can tell, we got a lot of good food. And okay, let's just start. I'll tell you guys where is it from. Okay, so all this, right, is actually from Wong Chiew restaurant. It's located at 19 Sembawang Road. Okay, well, so today you can see all this is Hong Kong style food, which is really interesting because
we're going to introduce the food first.
Yeah.
And okay, we'll start from this side.
Yeah.
So over here we have homemade XO sauce fried carrot cake. Let me try to pronounce it in Chinese, okay?
Yeah.
XO chao luo po gao. I think I'm right. And then we have broccoli fried with scallop, which is 带子西兰花. I think I'm right. And then we have kampung chicken over here. In Chinese is 木桶鸡.
This looks really good because it has the spring onions on top of it.
Spring onions and the ginger on it.
Correct.
And the owner told us that because Singaporeans do not know how to eat Hong Kong style chicken, so they decided to put it on top of the chicken.
So that people actually know how to eat it like this itself.
Like this, yeah. And then over here we have flaming chicken wings, 火焰鸡翅. And this one, very interestingly,
later y'all can see, that on fire. Yeah.
And then over here we have century, salted egg and normal egg with Chinese spinach. So 3 different eggs. 金银蛋鲜菜. Yes. And then last but not least, we have the 4 different kind of meat, which is roasted duck, roasted chicken, char siu, and roasted pork. They are in 烧味是鸡鸭烧肉跟叉烧.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so
Wow.
let's dive into it.
it.
You did a very good job.
Oh, of course. Now we're gonna have this flaming.
Wow.
Whoa. Oh.
The smell though.
Reminds me of waterfall, bro.
We're gonna dive right into it.
Go roll up my sleeve first.
Okay, I should try this first because I think this is the specialty. Also, we forgot to mention, right? The chili is all homemade.
Homemade chili sauce.
Is this your first time? Have you tried anything
This
like this
is I think this is my first time trying.
This is my first time trying something like this before.
And like full on Hong Kong style, I think it's my first time.
Garlic.
Can I dip in the chili?
It's quite nice.
The sauce is damn good.
The sauce is very good.
The sauce is really very nice.
Anyways, we were so engrossed with this food, we forgot to
mention our today's topic.
So today our topic is about rejection and cancellation. So okay, we're gonna. I'll start first.
Okay, sure.
So I think as everyone knows, modeling industry has a lot of rejection goes on. You know, every single job you go to, there's always a chance that you can get rejected or you can get last minute cancelled. Okay, so for me, right, when I first started modeling, I came in with brown hair and braces. So when I went for my first casting, I went there looking very I mean, obviously, because it's your first time going, you won't know what to expect or how to present yourself at the very best. So when I went there, I wasn't very modelly looking. So I remember I went for my first catalog casting.
In Singapore?
In Singapore, yeah. And I got I went there, the person just looked at me, then she's like, oh, yeah, she gave the oh, okay. Then she said, you can just take a few pictures and you're done. And that went on for a very long period of time, me constantly getting rejected. Because I think as we always say, the way you present yourself is very important. So I think until after I started full time, when I had proper black hair and I took out my braces, that was when I actually got more jobs, getting accepted more lah. I remember it was very difficult for me at the start because I wasn't used to rejection.
But you didn't know what's wrong.
For me, it's I didn't know what's wrong, and yet I'm constantly getting rejected. I remember feeling so depressed every single time I get rejected from jobs or I didn't get a job confirmation. You know, it went on for quite some point of time but I'm just glad I got over it because it's really.
But was it very good rejection that you faced in Singapore? As in they won't immediately reject you on the spot?
I think you will know when in Singapore it's pretty easy to tell if you get rejected straight away or not because I think during the same day the booker will actually let you know whether you get the job or not. Compared to overseas, they will actually tell you the job only 1 day before.
And then, okay, so for me, right, I think I faced both nice and very harsh rejections. Like nice rejections are usually, I'm not sure about other Asian countries, but in Singapore alone itself, Singapore's rejection are not as bad as what I faced overseas. Singapore rejections are just like, okay, thank you, bye-bye, but they don't really tell you whether they want you or they don't want you, you know? You're just left hanging.
Know,
yeah, but overseas is like a straight up no. If they were to tell you like, it's okay, I actually, no thank you, like you haven't even walked finish, they'll just be like, okay, you can go now. Then they call the next girl out. And that one was pretty harsh.
I think rejection is something that's very unpredictable. Like you won't know if you get, I mean like, okay, it's not saying you won't know, like you can kind of tell half, but sometimes last minute they would like, they might actually book you for a job. So these kind of things like you won't know also.
Give me 1 century egg, please.
Okay.
I said I like century egg and she only gave me the noodles. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay, so when I mean last minute rejection, right, last minute cancellation is really, really very last minute. You can get rejected 2 to 3 hours before my show or my job. So I had one incident where I actually was direct booked overseas and everything was confirmed. Like my booker told me it's confirmed and I was very excited to go. And I actually got rejected the night before. So I think around 5 to 6 hours before. Yeah, my booker said, oh, it's okay, they cancel you. Like, they fly to Malaysia. Yeah, and it's not once, but twice, the same brand.
I think rejection is very like, you won't really know until
it's very harsh.
It's very, yeah. It's honestly very harsh. I think like, once you start modeling, like, it's very hard to accept. Let's talk about Fashion Week cancellation, which is, how do you feel about Fashion Week cancellation? Okay, so in the first place, right, I feel like when you go for a casting for Fashion Week, it's something that you really won't know that you'll get or not. Like, clients may look like they like you and they want to book you for the job. They might take pictures of you, like talk to you, and want to know more about you.
Yeah, they might even ask you to do fitting.
Yeah, they might ask you to do fittings.
Yeah.
But you might still not get a job and you might still get rejected also. So I think that's something that we learn over time that you got to prepare yourself for, that you won't know if you actually get jobs or not. Example, right, we had this friend who had who went for Giorgio Armani. So we were already at home, like it was a full day of casting. It was around like 7 p.m. and then her booker called her and like told her like, oh hi dear, you got confirmed for this job, you know, congratulations and all. And then our friend was like, okay, that's great. She was really happy about it. But then after that, like maybe 1 hour later, 1 to 2 hours later, her booker called her again and told her like, oh, I'm so sorry, but they cancelled you.
I'm so sorry, but they cancelled you.
Yeah.
So can you just imagine, like, you're so happy that you finally got a really good brand, a really good job, and then like they last minute just decide to cancel you. And this doesn't happen just once during Fashion Week. It can happen like multiple times. Every time you go there.
And the only time you know that you are confirmed for a job is when you're actually on set or on the runway.
Yeah, I think when you're already on the runway, when you're about to walk, that's when you know.
It's only when you're about to walk, not even when you do your hair, makeup.
Example, like Kaci had this friend.
Wow, that one was sad.
Yeah, she had this friend that, you want to say?
Okay, sure. I had this friend who actually was going to work for Iceberg. And she did rehearsal, she did hair, she did makeup, and the client just last minute cancelled her before she walked down the runway. She was already wearing the clothes.
Yeah,
so can you imagine how harsh it is to get rejected even when you're confirmed for the job? So it's pretty scary. Like,
but I think overseas are usually more like, they're not very lenient with cancellation. Singapore is more, they won't cancel you last minute unless like you are really horrible like what you're doing, like you fall
or like
sick
they impromptu cancel their shoot So
yeah, Singapore is nicer at cancellations, but overseas is pretty like harsh and like they don't care like what you feel or they're just upfront with like whatever they're gonna do. So I think when it comes to rejection, like back to rejection, there are a few things that we can get rejected from, like Fashion Week shows.
Correct.
And for me, I think my story would be probably like getting rejected from agencies, because if you want to go for placement, you gotta get agencies overseas also. So usually, when you're back at your Singapore, like your country's agency, they'll probably usually do like Skype calls. So I did like one Skype call. Okay, not just one. I did multiple Skype calls with an agency, and I still got rejected.
From the same one?
Yeah, from the same one.
Oh.
So just imagine like how you really want something and then you get rejected constantly. Obviously you'll lose faith somehow, you know. So I think like when I finally got my Milan agency in the end, I was like, wow, I'm so happy, because it's really like, even no matter how hard you prepare yourself to get rejected, when it happens to you, you're still gonna feel very like sian about it.
Yeah, you won't
feel
feel-
very down and like
Correct.
it's still gonna hurt lah, you know.
Because you have a certain hope
Yeah, you got
to
a
have
certain
it,
hope,
right?
yeah.
So it's just
And if that's what your job is about, then
for me to handle rejections, right? I think the best way for me to handle rejections is to not hope for rejections. I always go in with a clear mind. Like if I were to go for castings and everything, and you know, every time you get rejected, you'll feel even more dejected when it happens to you, right? Am I right? Like you would just assume that you will get rejected even before you
yeah.
cast for it. And you see the amount of girls there and you're just like, I don't think I'll get this. We all look the same.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
But it's very hard to pull yourself out of that
Situation.
and to tell yourself to have a clear mind because it's very hard. It's just very hard. No matter how long you prepare yourself for, I honestly feel like even if you're going to be like 10 years into the industry, right? Every single time you get rejected, you're still going to feel a bit of like so what went wrong, and you won't even know like where you went wrong with, you know.
Yeah.
First few castings of so my first few casting of getting rejected was catalog castings. So when I first started off, I had catalog castings. So I got rejected from a few because of like how I say I presented myself.
Spicy.
How I presented myself and all. But and I remembered after I got rejected from that first ever job, right? That was the job that I really wanted. And then I managed to work with them like years later. And the person saw me, right? And then she came to me, she's like, so about the girl with the brown hair and the braces.
Oh my
back
God.
then, right?" Then I was like, oh yeah, I am. Then she's like, oh yeah, but back then it just didn't suit our.
Now you
just
glow
didn't
up,
suit
huh?
our look, yeah. So I think sometimes when they reject you, and that's very important. Like you cannot take it personally because sometimes it's just not what
And you're just not their.
your face isn't what they're looking for.
Yeah.
You know, at that point in time, like every season, like faces will change. It's like
They want
Gucci,
different-
for like one season, Gucci might want like really weird faces, or then another season they want like people with like eyes that's like really small and like with bangs or like
The demand is different,
The demand is always different and it's always changing. So I think rejection is something that you must learn that it happens lah, no matter like how.
First few of my ones rejected.
What's your first few casting? Do you even remember?
I just know I always get catalog jobs, catalog castings rejected, or like beauty stuff rejected. But I mean, that doesn't mean that you guys shouldn't book me. I feel like you guys should book me. When I first got rejected, it was mainly because I think I didn't present myself well. Like for some reason, whenever I'm nervous or I'm unconfident, it can show on my face.
Yeah, I think it's very obvious.
It's quite obvious, right? Like if I go to a job and I don't feel prepared, I go for a casting, I don't feel prepared, then that's when it shows on my face and the way I talk and everything. So that's why they feel like I'm not confident enough to do it for them.
Yeah.
So I think that was what happened to me.
That's what I realized also when I went for my like recent fashion week. When I go for the casting, right, I realized that if I look very like shy and not confident, they won't even take note of you. They won't
Yeah.
even like look twice at you.
Yeah.
So you must really know how to, okay, like we say, present yourself, seem confident, know what you are doing, because I don't think they will want to get someone who's so like
Clueless.
and like introverted.
And on set,
for
it's like,
someone
it's
to-
like, yeah, it's like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah,
Have
yeah.
personality, have confidence.
and you need to know how to talk, because sometimes clients will try to engage in a conversation with you. And I don't think you should be very overly friendly, like to
not like the
extent of,
hug or like,
yeah, like the very fake kind. Just try to
Just
like,
be
have-
yourself.
Just be yourself. It's very important that that they know like what kind of person you are.
Yeah.
Like within that short moment of like conversation that you all have, it's always very broad lah, like Singapore rejections and overseas rejections. But over time, sooner or later you learn how to accept it, I guess. Yeah, you learn how to like take that every single rejection in. Okay, so when you go for a commercial casting, right, you really got to do a lot of stuff. Like they want you to act like this, act like that. And at the start, for my first ever commercial, right, I was really shy. When they asked you to do like something, I'll be like,
sorry.
okay. Do you want me to jump? Then I'll be like,
Yeah, you
very
don't
awkward,
put it
yeah.
like 100%, right?
Yeah, you don't
Because-
give 100%, yeah. But after some time, right, you just realize that, just give your best, and like.
Yeah, if you get it, you get it. You don't, you
Yeah.
don't. You know.
I think it's very important that you go into like every single casting with a very like clear mind. Don't be so uptight on getting the job. Like I want to get a job, I want to get a job. Just go there, be yourself, have fun during the castings, and I think that's what matters.
I remember one major like how demoralized I felt. It was actually not really a job, but it was because during my training days, Bond had actually hired like show producer to come. So that was like an exam for me to showcase that hopefully this show producer will use me. Okay, the show producer was Daniel. Daniel came to the agency and we did like a test, work for him, you know, and for him, right, our main motive is to be one of the more outstanding girls in that group, to be selected by Daniel for his future shows or for like his future jobs. So when I was there, I was with my class that had like 9 other girls. And so 9 of us were queuing up to work for Daniel. And some of them are really, really very experienced. They actually worked overseas, like they are from Jakarta, Indonesia and stuff. Yeah, so they actually worked overseas and I was there, a newbie. I had to work for Daniel, which I know was a very good and very big show producer, and I was nervous. So you could tell on my face that I was actually very, very nervous. So I worked for him. That one walk, a normal walk is fine. Then when we had a second component where he actually asked like brands, and you have to walk according to the mood of the brand.
Oh my god, yeah, I remember.
I told you that, right? Yeah, and my brand was depression. And at that point of time, I don't know anything about fashion, and I didn't know what depression was. Yeah, so I was like, oh, depression, mood, like depressed. And then I also don't know what, I never really explored my body enough to know like what's a depressing walk or what's a happy walk. And I don't even know what's depression in the first place.
Yeah, I get
so I literally just
Walk the same as what I did at first.
and then
No variety, right?
yeah, and that one comment really hit me really hard because he was like, do you really know what you're doing?
See that?
And it's like, do you even know what's depression? Then I was like, what the f? I was like, oh shit, I want to get out of here. That's when I know I didn't impress him, and neither did I wasn't even on his okay level. I was like below. I was downgraded. Then when I actually started my modeling career, I had to go a few more castings to actually let Daniel like use me as his model. So it was pretty tough.
She posted recently, there's this like, it's not really
Theatrical ish. That one wasn't really theatrical, but it was close. It was close to theatrical
something very
catwalk.
different,
Yeah.
But there's another one, like the first ever time.
First ever. Okay, my first ever placement. Let me eat this one more first. I actually was in Milan, and I had a casting. Okay, no, before that, my agency practiced me to do theatrical catwalk. I don't know why, but they actually trained me. They were like, oh, please watch this video and come to the agency. I'll take a video of you doing theatrical catwalk. And for me, right, I can actually do my best when I'm with people I'm comfortable with. So if I shoot with people, like my agents are really nice, so I can actually fully express myself. But then they were like, oh, you actually got shortlisted for Bulgari's. Yeah, Bulgari's casting. And I was like, oh, okay, oh my god, I'm so happy. I went for the casting, and I think I was the second girl, I remember. Then they called the first girl in. They said, oh, can you do your theatrical catwalk? I stunned there. I legit like, wait, what? I'm supposed to do that because I wasn't prepared. In my casting sheet, it did not say that I have to do theatrical catwalk. And back then, I was only...
Your first season?
My first season, I was only 18. I never really wore big shows ever. I was there just to warm up the market. So I did the casting. Couldn't express myself fully. I was like, okay, fine, whatever. I'm just going to go home because I know I won't get it. And then they called me in a second time, the same day, afternoon. At home, I remember Matthew was there. I was like, Matthew, can you please watch me? I need to practice this theatrical catwalk thing. And he's like, okay, you're doing fine. I went for the casting. And then I reached there, they told me, just give me your normal walk, your strongest walk ever. I stunned ×2. I couldn't react. Like, I practiced so much, and then in the end, you just tell me to walk normally. And everyone, literally, there were like 8 people on the panel, they just looked at me. And I was like, oh no, okay, Kaci, give your strongest walk. But I was so nervous that I couldn't even walk properly. Like, I tripped at the front when I was posing. Then I had the producer to walk with me, because like, give me your strongest. He's like, strongest. He kept saying all this. And he walked with me, he held my hand. He walked with me, then he's like, now do one very strong one. And I wasn't angry enough to walk a very strong one.
Yeah.
And then they were like, okay, it's okay, thank you. They gave me that face. And I was like, oh shit. Then I went to a park and cried. So that was when I felt so rejected.
Yeah, I think it's very painful.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like when they give you a second chance
Oh my god, yeah.
and you
second
go
chance.
for it again, and then you end up still not getting a job. I think that kind of rejection hurts more than when you go for the first time and you didn't get. Because it's
I
like the
agree.
second time is like you had a chance to like prove yourself again, but you didn't get it.
Yeah,
So it's really like the most stressful.
you just felt very useless at that point of time, you know.
Yeah, I get what you mean. No, let me just start from the beginning. So when I went for my first London Fashion Week, then Kaci was supposed to go to Milan to do Fashion Week afterwards. I was supposed to stay in London, but I didn't want to. I wanted to go to Milan. I wanted to go to Milan to like
She wanted to
test
stay with me.
water. Because my mindset was, since I'm already in London, I might as well go to Milan. You know, it's like a nearby country. I can just go there, scout for agencies. So I went there with no agencies at all. So never mind, my booker, she planned like, go-sees for me, which means go-sees actually means like you go to the agencies, you do walk-ins, and then you can, the agencies will see whether they want to take you in. Like, they can see how you are in real life, they can see your walk, they can see your book, and everything. So the first agency that I went to try for was like, I remember the nearest to my house back then was Elite. So I went there, and then I saw the person, and I was like, okay, hi Nicole, nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah. Then the first thing she asked me was, so do you think you can stay an additional 3 months? What? That was like, no, I don't think
straight
so.
away said no.
I straight away said no.
You didn't even consider?
I didn't even consider, I was like, no. But because at the point of time, I was so caught up with, I was already so homesick, you know, I already did like London. And then I went there, she wanted me to stay 3 more months. Then I was like, no, I'm sorry. Then after that, like I shouldn't have said no, I should have just said yes. But because to me at that point, I was like, I cannot stay another 3 more months, you know, I want to go home. But I mean, if I really want to go home, my booker in Singapore will always bring me back. But to me, it's like, at that point, I got shocked when she told me to stay 3 more months. So that was my first go-see that I got rejected from. And then I went for a few others. And then all of it obviously failed because I didn't get any of it. But just, it was just a very stressful thing. Like, just imagine like you being in a new country and you go to like these kind of agencies, like big agencies, like really good ones, and actually like getting rejected, like seeing the bookers, and they tell you like, oh okay, if anything, I'll get back to your booker.
Oh yeah,
And then like
that
a few
is
days later, you're like,
hello.
I'm waiting. So that's when you know you get rejected, and I think that's very like sian. You know, it's not a very good thing to feel, but at the same time, it's like no choice lah. Then when I came back to Singapore, my booker like planned for me like Skype calls with agencies. So like I mentioned earlier, I had 3 Skype calls once with a specific, like with an agency, and it all failed, which is so like, I don't know how to say, the feeling is so weird because you won't know like where you went wrong in.
Yeah, because you just merely just talk to them
Yeah,
and
you just talk to them, and the fact that it's 3 times, right? Okay, first time never mind first time reject, never mind. Then they're like, oh okay, they want to Skype you again, second time. Then you're like, oh okay, maybe
You
got hope.
anticipate, yeah.
Like wow, got hope that maybe they want me, they see like potential. Then like it got cancelled again. And the third time, I was like, I remember the third time I told Bon, I was like, aya, confirm cannot one lah.
are you sure they want me?
Yeah.
And do you just arrange it because I said so?
Like you arrange it again when I already got rejected so many times. So I think it's a very nice, not nice it's an experience for sure. Like going to all this, like from the go-sees to the Skype calls and experiencing like all these different things is very interesting. But still very stressful lah. I feel every time she asks me to Skype someone, right? Like she asked me to Skype call my current. That time she asked me to Skype my current agency in Milan.
You did a Skype call with them?
I did a Skype call with them. Then they asked me to walk. And then usually we go to walk in bikinis.
Yeah.
But on that day I had my period, so my booker in Milan was like, oh, okay, can you change to your bikini? Then I was like, wow, how sia? I scared if I tell her like I got my period and I'm wearing like shorts, then she think I'm making some sort of excuse, then she don't want to accept me. So I was like, oh, sorry, but I'm on my period. But she was very nice. Then she's like, oh, okay, then never mind, you can just wear your shorts and walk. But I remember I told Bon, I was like, Bon, can I like postpone the Skype call or not? Bon enraged. She's like,
Really?
I tried so hard to get this for you.
And then you tell me you don't want to.
I was like, okay, I'll do it. So it's like, okay lah. So I think the Skype calls and all is very fun. Not fun lah, but
It's a new experience.
it's an experience lah, for sure, yeah.
Because we never will. Before the COVID-19 situation, I don't think anyone does Skype call, as in like other than our our line of work.
But I think like now with the current situation, like even castings have to be like Skype.
Skype, yeah. Even like jobs, like my friend also does her job through Skype now and everything, studies through Skype, but never in like the line of only our job does Skype call for business stuff before. Due to the COVID-19 situation, even as much as like rejections we want, we probably wouldn't have that many because there's no more jobs. Yeah. Sadly.
Is that what? Okay, but to be honest, I'm sure like we will rather be getting rejections.
Yeah, we
than
would
having
definitely
no
want to have
rejections.
rejections.
Because rejection just means that at least the client see you once, they can remember like how you are, like that you exist as a person, instead of like having no rejections at all and just being like stagnant and like nothing happening, you know.
So maybe your face will be more in trend, like our faces will be more in trend in other places at a different timing. Not now.
Yeah, it's like
if
how
you get rejected.
if you get rejected for one country, right? It's like you might feel like, oh, this country isn't for me. But actually like, oh, there might be another country that actually really wants to work with you and like get into the country. So it's a very broad thing. Like everyone wants a different type of look. Yeah, so technically that's about it for our rejection, cancellation thing, like topic today. We get too distracted by the food. I always wanted to try I always see on Facebook like the people post the roasted chicken on the stick and then they lay it on fire. This is close.
This is close.
Yeah.
I feel like it will be this one. I feel like it's a very good like
the sauce is nice.
dinner. Yeah, very light.
Yeah. Everything goes really well with like rice. Okay, yeah. So that's about it.
So distracted with food.
Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to the next episode of our mukbang. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. See you guys next time.
See you. Bye.